If you're using Stripe tax, it's easy to assume everything is working correctly. But if your product tax codes are wrong, your taxes are wrong. This is because sales vary by state, and Stripe is only as accurate as how you configure it. We see this all the time, so I will show you how we coach our clients to set up Stripe product classifications the right way. Let's break this down step by step. Choosing the correct product tax code in Stripe is one of the most important steps in your entire sales tax setup because taxability isn't consistent across states. It's driven by state-specific legislation. Take clothing as an example. Some states fully tax clothing, some only tax it above a certain threshold, and some don't tax it at all. So if your product tax code isn't set up correctly, Stripe may calculate tax incorrectly, and that impacts things such as what you collect from customers, what you report to the state, and ultimately what you owe. And the tricky part is you might not notice this right away. It usually shows up later when you're filing returns or reconciling reports. In Stripe, you have two main ways to assign product tax codes. First, you can set them up at the product level. This is the most accurate approach, especially if you sell different types of products that are taxed differently. Second, you can use a preset tax category at the account level. You'll find this by going to Tax, Business Information. This allows you to apply a default tax category across your products. This can work well if your products are very similar. But if you sell a mix of items, relying too heavily on a single preset can lead to misclassification. So just be careful there. While you're in that same business information section, there are two other settings that are very important to get right. The first is how you treat tax on shipping. You have two options: determine automatically or never tax shipping. We strongly recommend choosing determine automatically because shipping is taxable in some states and not in others. If you choose never tax shipping, you could end up under remitting sales tax in states where shipping should be taxed. The second setting is whether tax is included in your product pricing. You have three options: automatic, yes to include tax, or no to exclude tax. Our general recommendation, just like Stripe's, is to use automatic. What that means is, for the US dollar and Canadian dollar, tax is typically excluded. For other currencies, it's included. This aligns with how most businesses operate, but here's the important part. If you choose to include tax in your pricing, you need to make sure your reporting still clearly separates sales and tax collected. Because when it comes time to file, states require those numbers to be broken out. If they're not, that can create issues during filing. Now, actually selecting the right product tax code can be simple or more complex depending on your business. If you have a small catalog and everything fits neatly into a category, this is usually straightforward. But if you have a large number of SKUs or products that don't clearly fit into one category, it can get more complicated. Stripe does provide a full list of product tax codes, and I'll include a link in the description. And if you're not fully confident in which code to use, you will definitely want to get a second opinion from a tax professional, because getting this right up front is a lot easier than fixing it later. But product classification isn't the biggest issue that we see with Stripe. For more information on what that is, check out this video. And until the next time, remember, when in doubt, always consult with a sales tax professional.